Does automation overwhelm you? Is it that when you hear the word automation, you're like having a block? If this is you, or you're even thinking about what are some ways I can enhance or improve automation in my business, in my company, you do want to listen in for the next few minutes. I'm here with an awesome guest, an awesome expert. And Katrina, she's here to give us actionable steps to really take our business to that next level, more profits, more cash flow, and of course, all that good stuff. So thank you so much for being here, Katrina. I really appreciate it. It's awesome the work you are doing. You're holding up the money, the dollars.
Yeah, baby, more money, more money.
Yes, I'm sure a lot of our business owners and CEOs will be related to that for sure. Everybody does, right? In some way. So thank you so much. I know you're a thought leader. You're known for getting businesses into high gear, that big picture thinking, which is so important. So thank you so much for, being here. Really do appreciate it. So what are some of the things that you find do overwhelm business owners and CEOs when they hear automation? What is it that you're finding like a trend? Like this is usually what's the block for them? And let's start from there.
Yeah, well, it's just the learning new technology. I mean, I don't like to learn new technology either. So
Yeah.
I try to avoid that at all costs. But I also enlist an assistant or two who are very techy, so that if I don't want to learn something or if I don't need to learn something, I've got them and they can
Mhm.
do some of the things. So having a team or at least a person who is good with technology and automation, what we're going to talk about today. It makes it less overwhelming because you don't have to learn everything
Yeah.
about being automated in your business. You don't have to learn all the tech. You just have to know the big picture, what you want to accomplish, which is more cash flow, more clients, a bigger business perhaps. And you don't have to work harder to do that when you automate, delegate, and systematize.
Exactly. And I can so relate because I know there's some areas when it comes to technology, I'm like, just thinking about it gets me overwhelmed. I just like to have someone, it's done, it's working, and they tell me. So, and then you made an important point there with the time. Like it can take us, if we are not experts, so much time to do this manually. We get frustrated. We're at a risk of errors when we could just have that right system, that right automation process set up. So there are really so many benefits. So I think sometimes persons are, and I see it often where they're trying to save money and they say we'll do it this way, but in effect it's costing so much more, right? Your
Yeah.
time, the dollars, and so much more.
Yeah, it does. It does take, I call it manual labor chaos. And, and I see so many entrepreneurs and business owners and even just professionals in a job in manual labor chaos
Yeah.
because they don't have enough systems. If you're, mostly I talk to entrepreneurs and solopreneurs, but if you are in a company that needs more systems, you need to say something. I was in that before I started my own business. I was in a company who needed another team member. We had some good software, but we didn't have enough team to
Yeah.
manage the workflow, right? And so I worked harder than I needed to, longer hours, and it burnt me out, which case led me to leaving the company, right? So
Wow.
don't do that to your
Yeah.
people. And a lot of entrepreneurs, you have the most important thing in your business is your website. It's that intellectual property. It's that website. It needs to be, if it's not already, it needs to be the hub of your business. Everything needs to flow in and through the website, but most people are not set up to do that. And so they're not seeing as big a results, as fast as results as they could if they really transformed their website.
Exactly. What are some of the other common mistakes you find when it comes to automation that we need to really look out for, that those listening on live and on the replay, you need to really listen to these mistakes? You might be making them, you might be on the verge of making them. And yeah, what are some of those mistakes, Trina?
Well, some of the mistakes are getting into the wrong software because
Mm-hmm.
so-and-so over here told you that this is what you need. And then
Yeah.
you went to a conference over here and they had a sponsor that
Yeah.
says, no, you need this service and this technology. You need our service and our technology. I see people flip-flopping between softwares all the time and they're wasting so much time. Just get the one that's right for you, or stick it out in a few years in the one you're at and make sure it works for you. And almost every person I talk to, I'm suggesting a different solution. So I can't sit here and blanket tell everybody you need Infusionsoft, you need Kajabi, you need Kartra, you need WordPress, you need MailerLite or MailChimp. Please don't do MailChimp. But like there's so many different technologies out there. I have a client who's in a mortgage guy and he's in Act right now, but he's not in online Act. He's on Act on his desktop, which is not helpful to running his business, right?
Yeah.
And so he's got this other system over here. He's got his Act over here. And these people are sending out emails and then he's sending out, it's just very inefficient, right? And we're trying to work on really simplifying what he's doing. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. You could be in construction, financial planner, you could be a coach or consultant or author. You're going to need different kinds of technology, and be careful who you listen to, because some people just recommend things based on a commission that they'll get because if you buy it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you made a very important point with a comparison, because just recently I was training some executives and, we spoke about that comparison trap. You think because they're in the same business that things are the same, but it's even deeper than that, because it's the same business, same industry, but the business is operated differently. There are so many differences you can identify. So that comparison trap is so, so, so important that, you don't get caught in it. Do you find, Katrina, that persons who are just starting out versus those who have been in business for a longer time, do you find the mistakes are still common along there, or do you find some more for when you're just starting out versus when you're a bit seasoned, or is it's happening to everyone?
It happens to everybody, but when you just first start out, you're like a newbie and you're fresh for ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're just usually a sponge. And so you trust everybody that's telling you to do this or do that or buy this or buy that and use this or use that. And so unfortunately, you haven't built that intuition skin yet to know which one, like how to really decide. You don't know enough about what you're looking at in order to make an educated decision. You're trusting people too early on, usually, unless you find someone like me who can evaluate the different technologies out there and help you identify the simplest, most inexpensive way to help run your business without breaking the bank. I would say also that that's the biggest one. But as far as you need more automation. You need to be able to input a new customer into your database, or have them input from your website into your database, and then emails just need to be sent automatically. I even have a system where I can automate and send an automated voicemail to people. If they opt in or sign up with their phone number, they get an automated voicemail, and we're still in the process of setting it up. But that's huge.
Exactly. That saves a lot of time.
Right? Because I genuinely do want to call everybody who signs up for a free thing on my website or whatnot. And some of the opt-in boxes they just have name and email. They don't have a phone number, but the ones that do have phone number, it's becoming more a norm, because all of our initial emails, when you opt into someone's website and sign up for something, a lot of times that first email of theirs goes into our spam or trash folder or the promotional folder. So a lot of times, if you're seeing stuff over there, your stuff is going there too.
Exactly. Yeah. So before we even get to the steps they can take to get automated, I want to talk a little bit about how can persons listening on know that they have a problem, because I see it often, business owners, CEOs, they have this false sense of security that things are fine. And then when we dive into their business, there are so many red flags, and some of them genuinely don't know, right? So they're listening on. they're probably on the fence about automation. They're saying, okay, I'm fine. What are some of those warning signs that they can know that I need to start getting help I need to get more efficient. I need to start reaching out for persons like you in, getting more automated and more efficient. What are some of the things that they can look for to know they have a problem and they need to get help?
Well, if you're working more than 8 hours a day, I'd say you have a problem. Now, that's the first thing, right? What can you take off your plate so that you can work less? I have some clients who want to work 3 hours a day, 4 days a week. Okay, great. And it really does depend on how you want your lifestyle, right? So if you want to live a certain lifestyle with certain work hours and boundaries and things like that, and you want to be able to take vacations and be more flexible, then there's certain things you got to do. And the other thing is pre-qualification of prospects. That's a big one sometimes, because they're saying, well, I'm talking to all these people, but nobody's buying. None of them are my ideal prospect. Well, that tells me that you don't have enough pre-qualification steps in your initial funnel to weed out the ones that aren't ideal for you, or at least put them on an auto drip information system. And then help the ones that are ideal rise up to the next step with you, perhaps. Those are two of the biggest things. Because I'm having a cough attack. Let's see. Some of the other things, those are the two that stand out. But another thing is you're doing something over and over and over again. Like I run, it's called the International Speaker Network. And it's a networking group. I also teach some stuff on there. We have speakers come in twice monthly calls. It's free. All I have to do now is basically show up to the call, host the call, introduce the speaker, interact with everybody, and then leave. I record it to my cloud, whereas I record a lot of my other calls to my computer. But I record it to my cloud so that as soon as it's over, my assistant, who lives on the East Coast, knows that it's over because she has these calls on her calendar, so she knows when. So she pulls it from the cloud. She'll put it on the back end recording website where we keep all the recording of the webinars. She will update the Facebook group with, hey, the webinar's replay is ready. She will do all of the techie stuff, so I don't have to do any of it, right? If I had to do all of that stuff for every single call twice a month, all year long, that would probably take me at least 3 hours a month. She also promotes all the promotion of all those calls on social media, except for emails, because I do my own emails, can be done by her and everybody else on my team. So it probably saves me easily 5 to 6 hours a month, right? And that, you don't think that's a lot, but that's a lot. I can edit and copy edit, like, 6 chapters for a book, or no, like seriously, like a whole book for that amount of time. I can run a whole event and get more clients. I can network at 2 or 3 or 4 other events and get more clients. So you got to think about what you're spending your time on that can literally be done by someone else, because it's not taking, like, running the call takes my brain, right? People can run the call for me too. They can facilitate. But doing all the other back end stuff, now that there's a system, doesn't have to be done by me. So what doesn't have to be done by you is my question. And you might just have to pay attention for a week or two, write things down, and see what things that you can pull off your plate and or automate.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yes, and that does make sense, right? Because sometimes you're having an issue and you really don't know, right? So it's good to know these things to look out for, to really be proactive and innovative quickly, right? So first steps to automation. What would be your must do steps on this journey to automation? I know it's never complete, but what are those foundation, those must steps that you need to take to get on the road to effective automation?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you need to evaluate where you're at currently, what your website's doing, what it's not doing. And you may not know, like, you might be too close to it to see. I look at people's websites all day long and I'm like, did you know this link's not working? Do you know you don't have even a way for someone to get on your list on your homepage? Like, did you know you don't even have a contact page? Do you know that you don't even have your phone number anywhere? You're making it hard for people not to be able to find you. I mean, people sometimes just don't see what I see. as a newbie coming on to look at your website. And then we have to look at all your social profiles. We have to look at all the back end database stuff to see like who's getting what when, how often are you emailing, what content are you sharing. Sometimes people are saying, no, I send plenty of newsletters. And then I look at their newsletters and they have zero call to action. So they're not asking them to come to a call or take a next step or click here or read this or do anything. They're not doing anything for call to action. No assertiveness whatsoever. So again, you just don't see what you don't see, right? Yeah. And I can usually catch 3 to 10 things on a 20-minute call. And those are good. You want to catch those holes and those opportunities to find more clients and be more efficient. So I would say the first step is really evaluating where you're at. You might need help with that. And then you have to figure out, okay, what am I going to fix in order of importance? What's the most important order? If you need to get paying clients right now, then you need to work on the lead generation, follow-up, and sales processes and those systems and that automation. If you're working too hard, you have too many clients, you don't have enough time to manage all the clients or all the onboarding or the follow-up with the clients, then it's the client management systems that need to work. And that could be within your database too, but it could also be hiring a team member perhaps, or maybe a professional organizer to come in and help you organize I don't know, everybody's different, you know, but those are probably the two biggies on what to do first.
Okay, definitely. The last thing I want to talk about is they might have some automation going. How often should there be like a review process? Because I know as your business grows, your systems change. So how often would you recommend that they review what's happened? Do I need to change my system? Do I need to get a different version? How does that look like? What would you recommend?
It's good to have a techie person, at least temporarily, to look in on your technology, your websites, the back end of your database, to make sure everything's working. Because believe it or not, you can set it and forget it on your website, but then 45 days later, your box might not work. Your opt-in box might just be going awry. Like, how did that happen? I don't know. It's technology. It's crazy, right? You constantly have to look at those things and test those things. You cannot set it and forget it. You have to set it and then keep checking it and keep checking it and keep checking it and testing it. So there's the website stuff. There could be new technology, but be careful, because I have a few clients who love technology, and so they're constantly switching into the next technology. And I'm like, oh my God, you need to totally stop it, because you keep saying you want to make more money, but all you're doing is working on your technology, and that's not going to make you more money. That's just going to keep you busy over here instead of in the sales and marketing arena, which is probably what they're not comfortable doing as much. They're more comfortable doing the techie. Yes, but techie does not make you more sales. A little bit. And, you know, the hub of your business and all that kind of stuff is important. But if you don't work through the sales process and stay in there the majority of the time, then you're going to be in manual labor chaos.
Yeah. Thanks for that. And again, it all goes back to always ensuring that you have a second, third, or even fourth set of eyes helping you along, because the reality is that we're never meant to function alone. So you're not going to know everything, every inside out area of your business, your company. So that's why you need those experts to connect with, to reach out, to really support you. And especially as things change, the dynamics of business change, environment, and so forth, it is always needed. So Katrina, where can persons find you? Like, you know, what's the best way to reach out to you? They're listening in, they're saying, I need help.
Yeah, I mean, if some of this resonates with you and you know you're in chaos, then definitely you want to have a call as soon as possible, because I'll catch a few things and I'll give you suggestions, you know? Yeah. And then if you end up working together, great. If not, it's okay. Just don't be shy. And you want to fix it, you want to fix it fast, then you got to step up to a phone call. If you go to jumpstartyourBizNow.com, that's my website. If you do /free trainings, you'll get access to a few different trainings depending on a few things that you might be working on. Their free call is there, as well as the Jumpstart Your Biz Kit is a great audio training for marketing and lead generation. Yeah, I mean, I do calls all the time. I have an event coming up in October, the Jumpstart Your Business, and that's a real workshop. We talk a lot about this kind of stuff at that event in October.
Okay, great. Thank you. So, and you would put in your information in the chat as well for those who just, want to catch that in the chat. It will be there for to contact Katrina. So, Katrina, thank you so much for coming on. We really do appreciate it. And these actionable steps, these practical tips really are geared to really taking those business owners, CEOs, corporations to that next level, which is always needed. So, I do thank you so much. And do you have any last thing you want to just share as we close off? Or
yeah, I would say the biggest resistance I usually hear when I say things like this is, I don't have time for that right now. Maybe in January, or maybe when things slow down, I'll do this, Katrina. And I would say that's your biggest mistake, is waiting, because you have to make time to make these changes in your business so that you can stop working so hard and make more money now or in January. And life will never stop. Something else will come up and you'll just keep pushing this off. And I don't recommend that. It's not just because I do this, but like it's just prolonging your success.
Yeah, delay is definitely danger, right? Procrastination is a killer.
Money follows speed. Money follows speed.
Yeah. Yeah, so thank you so much, Katrina. Thank you guys for tuning in. Do remember to share where you're coming from. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat as well, or reach out to Katrina. And as always, share this with other CEOs, other business owners, so they can benefit from this wealth of information. So definitely signing off now, and we'll talk again soon, guys. Thank you. Bye.